Global Banking and Finance Review Awards reflect the innovation, achievement, strategy, progressive and inspirational changes taking place within the global financial community. The awards were created to recognize companies of all sizes, prominent in particular areas of expertise and excellence within the global financial community. Today, we're pleased to present awards to BPC Banking for technology innovation. The latest awards for 2022 include Excellence in Innovation National Switch Platform East Africa, Best Payment Orchestration Platform Africa, Best Financial Inclusion Initiative India, Best Digital Banking Technology Solutions Provider Cambodia, and Best Contactless Payment in Smart Cities Kenya and Ivory Coast. And we were glad to welcome Jane Loginova, Chief Strategy Officer for BPC, to receive the awards in our London studio.
Thank you so much. The team has worked very hard, so they'll really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well done. BPC supplies banks, processors, merchants, transport operators and other ecosystem players with advanced technologies to create relevant services for their customers. Their customers want fast, easy and secure banking facilities fitting in the context of their business or daily life. These one-touch services are supported by a lot of smart tech. To tell us more about BPC's services, we're glad to be able to talk to Jane Loginova in the London office about BPC's success. Well, Jane Loginova, welcome to the London studios to talk a little bit more about your success. And the first thing I'd like to say is congratulations on the awards that BPC has actually been given.
Thanks very much. It's a great honour to be here and we're very proud of those awards. Thank you. Well,
let's look a little bit at how it has led up to that success that we've just been talking about. Tell us a little bit more, first of all, about BPC and the history of the organisation.
Well, BPC is a payments technology company staying for banking, payments and commerce. We supply our clients, banks, digital banks, fintechs, acquirers, processors and other players in the payments ecosystems with the tools for them to run and operate their payments business, be it issue cards, process transactions, merchant acquiring, fraud prevention, and that's what we have been doing for over 25 years. We used to do it just by supplying the software to the clients themselves so that they operate and run it on their own premises. With the digitalization of our economy, there's been a need and drive towards more of an outsourced mode of operation, so SaaS, and we've recently launched our own processing solution. We rolled out our own payments platform and a cloud in a number of locations globally so we can service our customers globally, and that's been a huge success so far.
Well, actually, as you've outlined there's a great deal of technology involved now, which I understand. One of the things is radar payments. What exactly is that?
Yeah, so that's what I've just mentioned. So radar payments is the internal name for the BPC processing, which again ultimately operates on BPC's own platform, Smart Vista, which I think has been quite successful in terms of the awards that we're getting, and that gave us an edge to operating our own software, gave us an edge in delivering the most innovative products to our customers quicker and doing it in SaaS mode. That way we could also service wider group of customers, fintechs, digital banks who want to have as little of investment in the sort of in-house technology, but want to go to market and service their consumers as fast as possible.
And given the changeover to digital technologies now, how do you actually combine physical and digital operations and combine the two?
Well, look, bridging real life to digital has been the motto of BPC. We've always tried to put a human face on the technology, and we started talking about ecosystems way before, I think, before it became mainstream. So we always try to go to the core of the problem, sort of why does the customer want that? It's quite not uncommon when we would have a potential customer come to us with a certain request, asking for a particular piece of technology or functionality, but we would always try to ask, what is it that you actually want to do? What is it that you want to solve for your consumers? And then quite often we will need to kind of tweak or actually offer them something else. And ultimately, there's always a physical need, there is a physical life, and technology is it should make our life simpler, right? We don't need standalone technology if there's nothing to do with it. And especially in the world of payments and financial services, they're there to serve us, and they can seem very complex, and they can be very complex. And the idea is to simplify them as much as possible. Therefore, I think digitalization, the rise of Fintech, of the payments is purely just to do that. I mean, they're obsolete on their own, but if we talk about embedded finance, they can make our everyday life much easier, and that's what we're trying to do.
I think everybody, particularly youngsters, know about apps on their computer and on their phones. As far as your organisation is concerned, what exactly are super apps? Because I've heard them referred to before.
Well, we're not unique in that space, and I think it was a good definition given to super apps previously. Basically, a super app is a closed loop ecosystem of other apps that you use daily, and where you have some common services, your data being shared between them. So ultimately, a simple language, we all use different apps every day to do different things. And a super app is that you do most of those things that you do daily within one app. Some sort of specialize more on the commerce side, so there would be a marketplace, financial services around it, a social aspect of it, and I think that's where China has done super well originally. And now I think there is a drive, there's no need for just for one super app. Therefore, there is a time and place for different ones, and there is drive by certain companies to indeed create that super app where the consumers would spend a lot of time in, or would go about their day, their daily transactions, their daily needs via that one super app.
So obviously it gives a lot of opportunities for financial organisations to actually apply a more sophisticated mode of operation.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, for instance, banks, they shouldn't necessarily be, scared of them. Although super app is not something that a lot of, banks have gone into, and in a way, because the financial angle is kind of embedded within a super app, so you try, the payment is quite seamless within the services that you use in the super app. But I think it gives, banks in particular a good opportunity to, if they were to participate in one of those super apps, or if they were even to own or develop one, to, partner with other service providers, be it marketplace or I don't know, travel, for instance, or entertainment, and build that within their domain. So yeah, I don't necessarily think financial service providers that it poses any threat to them. I think it's a good opportunity because ultimately within those super apps, financial need or a payment need will always be present, and that's you can really create a ecosystem around that.
And you do actually have so many excellent services. Indeed, you won an award for something else called O-City. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So we have been servicing all sorts of industries and consumers Of course, originally we have started in the financial sector, and that's what our platform was built for originally. But as payments started branching out of just banks or financial service providers, payments, as I've already mentioned, they're kind of everywhere. We started looking at transportation and micropayments sector, especially with the rise of smart cities, the drive of certain kind of sustainability, the climate angle. There's a big push, especially in certain geographies, to take cash out of the economies. And doing these small payments, paying for metro, bus, museums even, is an obvious example where a lot of cash historically has been spent on. So we have built a solution again, or just tweaked really our solution to service for that. So we have metro, bus, and other transportation companies from Philippines to Ecuador operating in our system, where any token, any card, not just your credit card, but can be a hotel key, can be used for payment for your ride in a taxi. And this is something that we see a lot of growth in. And this is something that we'll also try to push quite a lot, mostly as well because of the certain just sustainability angle of it, but also because of the certain kind of super app angle of it, because it doesn't just apply to transport, as I said. If you can, be able to do various other small daily payments through one card, that will save a lot of friction.
So it is indeed very flexible, and so many of the services you provide are actually groundbreaking, I know. So when you actually do that and introduce something new, how do you actually let your customers know about it, how it works, and how effective it can be?
Well, we pride ourselves on being an organization that's very close to its customers. That's why something was spoken about before this. We don't have massive headquarters where everybody is aggregated and people fly around the world. In fact, we taken a more decentralized approach. So we have offices all around the world. We have people who interact with clients on the daily basis, and because we are quite still a tightly knit organization, the knowledge travels quite quickly. Therefore, something that's been something innovative in Asia, we can implement or offer to our European customers, very quickly. And I think that's one of our competitive advantages versus, indeed competition, is the breadth of the geographies that we service, and that way you can really learn a lot, but also the breadth of the customer types. So we have sophisticated digital banks, we have sophisticated startups, but that really try to solve one problem, let's say in financial inclusion in Cambodia. We have big tier one traditional European banks, and the startups in LATAM. And by being very by interacting within our team, by being very close to the customers, we share the knowledge within the firm, and that way we share the knowledge with the customers. And when it comes to, once they select what they want to do, technical implementation is pretty straightforward. So it's either API, typically API enabled through the cloud is the preferred method of delivery of those services these days.
Well, certainly, the wide breadth of communities around the world that you serve is reflected in the awards, and I just want to say thank you so much for coming and talking to us today and actually accepting the awards on behalf of Global Banking and Finance.
Thanks so much. It was a real pleasure. Really appreciate it. Thank you.